Hello, welcome back to a wonderful new episode on our podcast. I'm Gio Winchurch, and with me,
Alex Wallace.
and today we're going to be in the face of resilience. So, Alex, tell me.
Well, we thought it would be a little bit of a better carry-on from our initial episode, determination. Determination and resilience are sometimes perceived as being the same thing, along with a lot of other things like indomitable spirit, perseverance. And we thought it would be a really good way of deciphering the differences between the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start off with, what would you define as resilience? For me, definitely, resilience is this idea of maybe a survivor mentality. It's this idea that no matter what, you are going to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Something that no matter what happens to you, you are always going to come out on top no matter what. And it's not necessarily the actual action of coming out on top, but more of the mind state of that, which allows you to achieve the goals that you've set out to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. And, like we spoke about in a couple of our previous episodes, if an individual is truly connected to the outcome of whatever it is that they're going for, whether it's weightlifting, maybe doing an assignment or deadlines at work, but you know the outcome of what it is you want, but it doesn't matter what it's like in the journey. That's, people could be throwing rocks at you or whatever. It doesn't matter what's going on through that journey.
Who's throwing rocks at you, mate?
Stop.
Right, okay, let's focus.
So it doesn't matter what the journey's like, okay, because it's never really going to go as planned. You can't visualize these things sometimes, but
Curveballs always get thrown in somewhere.
yeah, exactly.
You're never going to be able to predetermine every single little obstacle that's going to come to you in life. And maybe resilience is being able to figure out what these curveballs are and finding things around them.
I wouldn't say so much figuring them out. It's just no matter what life throws at you, you just power through and you just get to the outcome.
You keep going.
You just keep going.
So the difference between determination and resilience then is determination is setting the goal, knowing what you want, and how to get it,
having the willpower.
And then resilience being the actual following through and being able to face the
being unable to be shifted off your course.
Yeah.
Is the best way I put that.
Being able to overcome the obstacles while achieving the goal that you were determined to get.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And most likely than not, those two play hand in hand with each other.
Yeah, they definitely correlated a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly the same, but I think they, in overall society, are perceived as being the same. I think if you ask somebody, what's the difference between determination and resilience, they're going to go, I don't think a lot of people would actually know how to turn around and answer that question. Even things like indomitable spirit or perseverance, it's maybe something that we can cover in later episodes, actually.
Yeah.
If these ones do well, hopefully. But I think there's different types of resilience altogether, isn't there?
Right.
There's mental resilience. There's knowing, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how to get it. And then there's sheer physical resilience, like at the gym for us, when we're weightlifting, if we're trying to, hit a 1 rep max and we're trying to really, really go for something. And the resilience to push your body, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you're in pain, no matter how much you want to give up and go home. And I think they are sort of entwined together. I'd say it correlates. If one has the normally, you will have the
Yeah.
And if not, you can train. You can train. But then there's also emotional resilience, being able to regulate emotions, being able to deal with situations at hand, especially personal ones with maybe family. Maybe there's a family member who's ill, who's getting older, dying.
Yeah.
There's arguments, disagreements in the family. Being able to regulate emotions in times of great stress shows incredible resilience as a person.
Yeah, exactly. And, with people who can be emotionally resilient, these are people that, tend to be the rock in most relationships or with people around you, because sometimes when people freak out and they don't know what to do, they turn to these people. You probably know some people out there that are like this, who are very good at controlling their inner feelings, and their emotions, because, like I said before, it's you can't shift them really. They are, a lot of these people, I find anyway, they know what the outcome is, or they have an understanding of the outcome or what it is that they're going towards, and it's very difficult to steer that person away from what it is that they want. No matter what they do, you know, they're going to get it.
Because they're almost
Regardless.
fixated.
With determination, right? So they're determined for the outcome. Like with family members and stuff, like you said before, it's a little bit different. But at the same time, there are a few people out there that are quite good at regulating emotion. Just like, resilience and emotion.
I think that both, there is like the mental and the physical side, and they are quite correlated. But I think emotional is quite a difficult one. I'd say that's the probably the rarest out of a lot, is to have emotional resilience in terms of your everyday life, or especially in personal situations. Anyways, everyone can say from an outside perspective, I would react like this, or I would do like that. But actually having the thought process and the step back attitude to be able to deal with these in the moment is another skill entirely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, you know, being able to recover quickly from difficult situations. You know, that toughness, like you mentioned earlier, that is resilience. And that's
true drive, fight, and passion.
Yeah.
For being able to retain your emotions and almost premeditate them and know how to utilize them properly in both serious situations and your everyday life. One of the best ones in our research that we've come to, when we do all of our episodes, we definitely, you know, research, and we do a little bit of like thingy so that we can get the best information to you guys. And the best thing that I've seen was resilience is being able to navigate the bumps along the way. The idea of navigation and this idea of, you know, being able to chart your course and being able to accurately depict how to go and get the thing that you want, I think is a great analogy to describe true resilience. It's not smashing in forward like a bull just to get anything that you want. It's knowing how to carefully navigate your way into the best success you possibly can.
Yeah. And this, you know, having that resilience, it stems off a few of the other topics we've spoken about already on the podcast channels. I truly believe that in order to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do, you do need resilience. It is incredibly important, and it's a skill. You know, it's something that you can teach yourself, right? And building resilience, as I was just saying, it's like a muscle. So it can be strengthened through facing and overcoming challenges, as it involves developing coping mechanisms and bouncing back from setbacks stronger than before. So essentially, you will be in certain situations sometimes, and this is why it's good to reflect. Now, we'll talk about this in another podcast, reflection, meditation, things like that. But for now, having a situation, so you find yourself in a situation, your resilience might not be up there at the moment. You could be quite lucky. You might already be quite good at it. Give it a go. Let us know how it goes. But but basically, you have that resilience, right? And you can train it. So you're in a social situation and someone says something that you might not like, and some people, or you might blow up. You let emotions get the better of you, right? So emotional and social in the same one. However, you can work on that, and you can work on yourself. And let's say you did find a situation like that. You can take a minute alone, wherever, take a deep breath, and think about how that situation went and how you would have liked it to go. And immediately your brain will start to connect dots differently to how the situation went. And that is where you will be building your resilience. That's where the foundation of the resilience is formed, right?
The idea of personal growth.
Yeah.
The idea of working on yourself. Like if you're sitting there thinking, do I have resilience? Or do I have determination, indomitable spirit? Do I have any of these aspects? If the answer is no, there's no worry there, guys. It's something that you can work on. The idea of personal growth is that you, as a person, can grow into the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
And whoever that person may be, you get to decide that.
Yeah.
And you can work on these things. If you can acknowledge, right, certain flaws within yourself, acknowledge that you need to work on them, it is one of the greatest traits that you can have, because it can help you, if you are lacking in something like resilience, to truly work on it, which can allow you to then be essentially unstoppable, I would say.
Yeah.
Completely unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%. So there are a few methods that we've come across online, and we've put these into practice ourselves. A couple methods that could help you build your resilience if it's not quite where you want it to be, right? So the first one is accepting that change is a part of life. Now, before I go into that, you should know, and I'm sure you're aware, life is challenging, right? It's an understatement of the year. Life is hard. Spoiler alert.
I didn't already know.
Yeah. And, you know, people fall into the comfort zone, right? So they'll be going to work, whatever. Same house. They create these habits. They're comfortable, right?
Well, we are creatures of habit naturally as humans.
Exactly. But sometimes they may not align with your core values or what it is, or as you see yourself, and that's another thing, identity issues and whatever else. But, you might not actually be living a fulfilled life that makes you truly happy. So when we talk about building resilience in that, it's being able to understanding that change is a part of your life, which is incredibly challenging, especially for someone who has fallen into this pit of, I'm comfortable here. I don't want to do it because it's risky and goes against my entire being.
Almost like Groundhog Day, doing the same thing
Again and again.
and over and over, but almost being content with it.
Yeah.
If you understand that and you know that and you're content with it, obviously, at some level, would you not? Like, if you're happy with that, then that's fine.
Of course.
But I wouldn't say that's being able to have true resilience as having to have a ritual that you have to stick to,
Yeah.
and having to stay in the same house.
I mean, if that's what makes you happy, then great. But then, there will be times in your life where you'll be like, oh, I could be more resilient here. Or,
Life could throw you a curveball, like you said.
Yeah.
You know what?
You could lose all of that within a day.
Yeah.
And
if you lose it all and you've got no idea what to do because you've never been in the world long enough,
trained the muscle, right?
Yeah, you've never trained the resilience muscle. Then when everything does go to crap, what are you going to do?
Hey, back on that topic of building the muscle. So it's challenging, and it's because as humans we love to be in control, right? So let's face it, we don't have much control over the things around us, and we do have very little control, maybe with your families, your spouse, your children, whatever, and try to control these little things. Again, you should probably work on yourself if that's the case. But change is inevitable, and how we receive it is key. Rather than viewing change as derailing or sabotaging, try welcoming it as a challenge. You need to change the way you perceive change.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
makes sense.
Being almost to welcome it, in a sense, not be fearful of it, because if you try and delay it, it will come when you're not ready for it. And it can completely mess up your life.
Yeah.
So being able to accept it and being able to deal with the problems as they come and be able to truly overcome them, you can then build up that idea of resilience to the change that's going to happen within your life. This mindset it'll channel strength. It'll help you to optimize your emotions and regulate your feelings and trigger feelings associated with the mentality of I will always overcome.
Yeah, right. So again, with people who lack resilience, when you train this muscle, it's not just resilience you're training. Like Alex said, you're also training your inner strength and a whole load of other things around that.
They all correlate together.
Everything works together to achieve that outcome.
Like a compound motion.
There's probably people out there that you look up to, and these could be public figures, celebrities, or whatever. But these people, they didn't just get there overnight. They had to years and years and years and years and years and years and years of discipline and working on themselves and resilience.
Secondly, another way that you could be working on your resilience is acknowledgement of what I was talking about before, of navigating your way through to your goal. By turning round and by looking at what you did, how you did it, and by truly learning from your mistakes as well as your accomplishments, you can then start to decipher, the psychology of your own life. Sometimes just pausing for a moment and to think about all of the events and experiences that have happened to you during, the traveling and the navigating through towards that goal. Sometimes with just luck, sometimes it was premeditated, sometimes you might just fall face first there, right? But by turning around and learning from all of these, you can then build up a great toolbox into knowing how to then face other goals. So these obstacles, if they come forward again, don't happen to you again. If you already know how to get over it, it isn't a problem anymore. It's just something that you do. It becomes a muscle. It becomes muscle memory to just deal with the problem at hand.
Yeah.
By learning and growing and developing as a person, as well as developing that resilience, will help you in your overall life altogether.
Yeah. It's a lot easier said than done, isn't it? It's like, oh, I've got the situation I'm in. Oh, it's not very good. I know, I'm going to go reflect. I'm going to go work on myself. And they might do that for a few days. And then what might happen is then you stop doing it because other stuff comes up or life gets busy.
Things always get in the way, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. But it's being able to just stick to it, stick by it, work on yourself it's really important, Maintaining a good presence and perspective as well can be super beneficial. So by limiting your distractions around you, so maybe people in your life that don't really serve you, or just things going on around you in your environment that just distract you or take you away from the current situation. Being able to take the time to identify what it is you need. So another thing that we think could really help you with building your resilience is being able to maintain a good perspective over the situations you find yourself in. So beforehand, we mentioned taking a minute and closing your eyes and breathing and, realigning the dots. But sometimes that can be difficult and you might not be able to do it at that situation, but it's being able to keep an open mind and have perspective, around you. So, the world is not out to get you or create havoc, but in these moments, or maybe after the situation's occurred or something went off and, you're like, how could this have gone differently, or what could I have done differently? Or
self-reflection.
Being able to reflect on it is a really good way of building that, but maintaining that presence and that perspective of the current situation will really help you overall build that resilience. Yeah.
And another way, and probably one of the most major ways, is to keep setting yourself goals, keep challenging yourself. Once you've achieved something, once you've achieved and you've got the, determination and resilience to get to that end goal, set something else, find something else, keep pushing yourself, keep learning, developing and growing as a person and reflecting back on all the other things that we've talked about, right? And just keep going, never stop.
Yeah.
Right? Because the day that you turn around, is there a day that you can turn around and say that you honestly know everything?
No.
You've honestly stopped learning as a person,
Right.
and you honestly could not be a better person than you are? Not one person on this planet can say that.
No.
So from that, keep setting yourself goals, keep challenging yourself, keep building that resilience, keep building it like a muscle, and one day you'll be completely unstoppable.
Exactly. And I know we're saying the word resilience a lot. We're just trying to feed that into your mind. You need to really work on that. If it is something you want to do, of course you don't have to.
Yeah, we're not telling you what to do.
But another way, like what we mentioned before, the networks, the environment you're in, and the people, your relationships, the people you surround yourself with.
Never do it alone.
Don't do it alone. We say this in a few of our episodes.
That's why we've got each other, mate.
Exactly. Exactly. But you should, what you do, take a step back. Let's say you have an argument with someone, or there's something you want to do, you have an idea, and someone doesn't quite see eye to eye with you. And then what they do is they then give you their advice on the thing that they believe. But what they do when they're giving you advice is they're looking at their life and their past experiences, and they're drawing conclusions from their own experiences to give you advice on what it is that, they're advising you on, right? So, and of course, it mostly comes from a good place, but it may not correlate with the thing that you want to do, but they don't see it the way you see it, no matter how much you explain it to them, because they've not experienced it themselves, right? And these types of people can make your life a little bit challenging when you want to go out and do something. So
what would you say to anyone that is doing that to you? What would you say is the best way?
Take a step back from the situation. Again, keep an open mind, right? Reflect on it and
trying to have a more objective viewpoint.
Exactly. See if this person aligns with your core values, and if they, they benefit you, because that's what relationships are for. If someone's just draining your life and soul out of you, they're not your friend. They're not a good person. You need people.
That relationship, therefore, does then not serve a purpose.
No,
it doesn't serve a good one anyway.
No, and if they're just making you feel like crap all the time, or they're putting you down, or maybe you have a dream and they don't see eye to eye with you, so that's fine. That's pretty common. But your friends should support you with whatever it is that you want to do, because that's what they're there for. And if they don't do that, no, I'm sorry, get rid of them, find new ones, and that is hard.
You know what? But I think it is as simple as that, to be honest.
Literally simple.
I think that would be the definition of true resilience, as being able to acknowledge all of the things in your world that don't serve your purpose, and just simply removing them by trying to optimize your own life so that you can achieve, the best version of yourself.
Yeah,
Exactly. This is going to take a strain.
Exactly.
Well, I think today we've sort of repeated ourselves quite a lot. We've talked about a lot of the same things because a lot of them entwine together. Like we said, we're trying to focus on truly defining the differences between, these different muscles that we all need to be building. And I think, yeah, we might have repeated ourselves, but a lot of this, contextually speaking, is very relevant to you.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of these together, just like a compound motion, you're activating all of these different little things. And by activating things like reflection, by, taking a step back, as well as meditating, as well as showing resilience and determination, and by connecting all of these points together, and by utilizing as many as you possibly can in your arsenal or toolbox or whatever you would like to call it, maybe not arsenal, but by having all of these under your belt that you could be utilizing, you could then really start to become the person that you know that you can be.
Yeah,
like
best version of yourself.
the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And once you've achieved that version of
Keep
yourself,
burying yourself even more.
yeah, find another goal and just keep going, keep going, and keep going.
What you'll
Never stop.
find is when you set out these goals and on your journey to reaching that goal, even just before you reach that goal, you'll have more goals. You'll just create more goals for yourself and get forming that habit.
By the time you've finished one, you've probably already found the other.
Yeah, exactly.
We're human beings. We're not supposed to stop in anything.
No.
We're always supposed, we've got to strive to keep going, keep being better, And on that note, guys, I think that's a wrap for In the Face of Resilience.
Yeah.
Cheers there, guys, and stick with us. If you would like to follow our social medias to get any updates on new episodes, we will be with you every week with us at ITFO.